Hello and welcome to your in-depth weekly horoscope for week commencing the 8th of March for the Sun or the Ascendant. If you've yet to subscribe to my channel, I'd be honoured if you did so now. Please click or tap on the bell notification symbol. Also, if you'd like to have a one-to-one personal consultation with me, please see the link below and check out my testimonials. And also, if you'd like to ascend above the Zodiac sign astrology and embrace more serious astrology, you can do so in a very affordable way by checking out my reports. You can get 30% off a year's forecast and a character analysis combination. And again, please see the link below, all based on your time, date and place of birth. Hello Leo, and welcome to your in-depth weekly horoscope for week commencing the 8th of March. There was a glorious connection last week between Mercury and Jupiter. Did you have some kind of interaction with someone that really cheered you up? Maybe you kind of like came up with a joint idea, or maybe someone was very encouraging, or you were cheering someone on. Something around a partnership may have really blessed your situation last week. Perhaps it was in a romantic context, but it most certainly could have been the sharing of ideas in a way which gave you a sense of uplift. Now that influence is still in place on Monday as we start this week, just within 3 degrees. So you may still be savouring that. But the overwhelming focus of this week is on your 8th house. House 8 is very much about shared resources. It can be about banking. It can be about things like savings, investments, shares, pensions, insurances, anything to do with inheritance, wills, probate, all that kind of stuff. And then in a more spiritual context, it's very much to do with a kind of deep psychological change. And within that, there can be ends, but also beginnings. So it can be a time of great transition. And because we have the Sun aligned with Neptune, and then from Thursday, Venus comes into the equation as well. And then they all are connecting with the Moon on Saturday with the new Moon. The following month can be a very powerful time for us all, but a very powerful time with the opportunity to embrace more healing. And I think healing is something we would all savour with the ravages of the last year from COVID. And of course, the physical ravages have been the tragic loss of life, and also the impact that that loss of life has had on those families and loved ones, and also the impact it's had on care and health professionals who have been stretched to the absolute limit, and a lot of them have paid with their lives. But also there's been the psychological burden of the last year, and that's what the 8th house can be about, the psyche in a very deep way. And if you think back to who you were exactly 1 year ago, would you say that you are pretty well the same person now? Because I think for many of us, it's been quite a journey, just in terms of the containment, not being able to go out and freely socialise in the way that we might like, at least consistently through the last year. And of course, this does depend on where you're watching this. If you're in Australia or New Zealand, you may have had not a totally unaffected time, but certainly a much less affected time than has been the case in Britain and America. But I think for all of us, it kind of changed our reality somehow. So Neptune's a very high frequency influence. It could be possible that something does dissolve in your situation, because when Neptune's next to the Sun, we can have something that was more stable making way for something else. So it could be that a connection you have had with something or someone, perhaps even a source of income, may be making way for something else. And that, of course, can be quite scary. But there is, I would say, on the whole, a greater opportunity for you to gain. Venus in the 8th house can see us gain through others. So it could be that a partner has some success or even a stroke of fortune, and is very happy to celebrate that and share it with you. It could be something wider within the family. Someone could make a gift. It could be that if you're a business person, that you're going to get some reward for the imagination that you're bringing to your project, because Neptune's very much about inspiration, and inspiration and imagination are the same in many ways. And then when we get to the new moon itself, Pluto's in the mix, and Pluto's been in a very practical part of your situation since 2008. It's probably made you a bit more precise about how you thought about some things, and maybe at times even a bit more inclined to see the facts of a situation in a very cool way, because the sixth house is very Virgoan and Pluto is quite a tough nut. But it could have seen you also very hardworking, very applied and very sacrificing in order to help other people. And that, of course, has been the kind of big picture for you over the last couple of years as Uranus has started to clash with that part of your situation. Uranus is wanting you to be freer, well, certainly when it was in the sign of Aries, wanted you to be freer, more adventurous, and then the kind of responsibility stuff has been there as well, especially last year with Mars being in a long retrograde in Aries. May have created frustration that you were penned in and couldn't quite go off and be the free spirit you can sometimes be. So you've learned a lot about sacrifice and hard work. That's not going to come to a close, but I feel that your ability to look at the detail of a balance sheet, for example, if you are a business person, or to manage your household resources, is all aided by this new moon, as long as you can handle the Neptunian influence, which can distort. It can be so amazing, it can be so uplifting, but it can distort. So if someone is coming into your world in a way that's very magnetic, sexually, for example, very attractive, you may be absolutely smitten by how they present themselves, but Neptune could be hiding something. It may be something that is not quite clear at this time. So I would say be very optimistic, especially with that wonderful conjunction between Mercury and Jupiter on day one. But just be mindful that something is changing, evolving in quite a profound way in your situation. It may see you needing to let go in order to bring the new energy in. This is rather Phoenix-like this week, but it could be surprising about the energy that comes towards you, which could be very reassuring, very, very deep energy. But it can work at a practical way and could be good for your finances as the week draws to a close and in the following month as the energy manifests from that new moon. So for now, stay safe, take care, and goodbye.